I think the web actually has been potentially, will continue to play a very, very important role in terms of the way in which news is distributed in both a written and a video sense. And I think the sort of fundamental tenets of the web, which is around the atomization of content, unlike perhaps the tablet experience, where magazine pages or apps or video experiences are perhaps wrapped up into a whole and are not individually addressable. I think that the web will continue to be the most important medium for news, because people want to select which stories they would like to view. They'd like to share those stories with different people, and they probably now, perhaps a decade into online news, people have got quite sophisticated ways of ensuring that they're getting the news that they are interested in. I talk from my own experience, like I have a sort of set of filters and apps and feeds that ensure that it sort of keeps the signal to noise ratio at something that I can deal with. And I think that will sort of continue to sort of evolve, with aggregators coming on the scene in the video space that that allow consumers to get the news that they are interested in delivered to their devices, and probably cached so they can view it offline, and some sort of background syncing, I think, will probably be important technical developments with regard to news.
Speaking of the web and news, we're very pleased to see the BBC in the US in their news site. Tell us a little bit about the thoughts, strategy around that, and how it's going.
So BBC.com has been a fantastic success for BBC Worldwide. I think we're above 50 million unique users now globally, and we've done 1.5 million downloads of our iPad app outside of the UK. So we're really pleased with the way that business has developed. Going forward, we want to continue to add to the editorial, and we want to continue to sort of build the product to make sure that it's market leading, so to speak. And then we need to think a little bit beyond what the content offering is. What can we do with those audiences on BBC.com to potentially make them aware of new services like the global iPlayer as it starts to roll out in different territories, or how do we start to think about monetizing the audience in a sort of applications and services perspective, beyond just serving content, because I think a cornerstone of any media organization is always going to be that content, and that will always be the fundamental tenet of the DNA. But content online, I think we're going to need to look at multiple revenue streams, and I think some of the more higher margin ones tend to come from sort of the application services transactional sides of the business.
How are you building up content for the US market?
So, I think we have a local editions team now. So the US edition, I think, was our first foray into that, and we're now considering, how many more editions can we have in how many markets, which tailor the news for that individual market. I mean, there was a time not that long ago when you would visit news.bbc.co.uk or bbc.com, and it would show you what the UK budget report was, and we know that is not of interest to anyone outside of the UK market really, and so we need to ensure that we're actually responding to what audiences want in each individual market. And then beyond the sort of local tailoring and the local kind of filtering of news, I think it's important that we continue to offer richer verticals. We've taken our first stab at that with our travel vertical on bbc.com, which we launched in conjunction with Lonely Planet, who obviously are kind of one of our key companies in our portfolio, and we feel that's been a great partnership, and hopefully we'll find other verticals to kind of get our teeth into in the near future.
All right, Dan. Well, thank you very much for being here on Beat TV.
It was great.
Meeting in Monaco.
It was great. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Beat TV, and Monaco the weather's been considerably better than London.
Fantastic. Thanks again.